reason.
bad.
I'm not entirely sure why, but it's a
I
thing.
believe Drag had to restart her game because she had speedrun mod on, which of course not allowed for this tournament.
Yeah, there's been some really weird stuff happening with the speedrun mod recently. One part, I think I mentioned it earlier in the tournament, but the game bringing me back to the intro cutscene whenever I died after the past section. Whenever you finish Lost World, you go into the past, and then you have another cutscene, and you want to do a death warp to the start of the ice tunnel. And the game launched me back to the initial cutscene. And most people that looked over it really think that it's about the speedrun mod, which is used for single stories normally.
Yep.
So it doesn't really matter for these kind of scenarios, but for KAG, when it's just stacked 3 runs in a row, it's really important to have full safety here, as we saw a lot of crashes and a lot of problems from runners with the games in general. So,
and it appears our runners are starting. Drag's timer is about 6 seconds ahead of what should actually be because she went through the menu.
oh, that's true actually. But
that
we'll
should
subtract it
get
in the
subtracted, yeah. It'll be fine. But Nim and Drag both making their way to Speed Highway. This, of course, being the first big RNG check of Knuckles. Knuckles hunting is entirely randomized, so we'll want to see good sets from both of them. Nim getting his piece 1. Drag, no pieces here. She'll be restarting using this water fountain to just go straight to the back. Pretty common strategy.
And
As
also
Nim
doing the same thing, but doesn't take the fountain, just goes from the right side to the left side normally, which is still really fast. Flying there is not slow at all, so.
You can only restart if you don't collect any pieces, because the respawn point will be right at the beginning of the stage. Nim did, of course, get his piece 1 in the middle section of the stage. Both of them getting pretty similar times, not a very big RTA difference between them.
No, it's still a pretty close race. You could see it directly on the aisle that this is still pretty much going. Oh, both of them are going.
Both of them are going for casino. I was gonna point that out, but this is interesting. You don't typically see runners go for this. Drag barely making it in. That's what you like to see. Both of them getting it first try with relative ease. That's pretty solid. And Nim's getting a good set here. This is going to be a 13-second casino as Drag having to clip in and drop right down for the piece 2. This is also a relatively fine casino, only 5 seconds behind. Keeping it close. Of course, Drag does have the support of a lot of people in chat. The Drag fan club is showing up in full force today, as they did yesterday. Nim hitting cream skip.
And it was a really clean one too. That was not. I think that was like 1 punch.
Drag hitting a cleaner cream skip, I think. 1 punch directly into a glide cell. Very, very good.
Beautiful.
From both of our runners. This is what you expect from both of them. This is really, really high level, very close gameplay. So I don't think anyone's too surprised. Nim getting a good Chaos 2 so far. A 1046, that's what you like.
100 milliseconds from the world record time that you can get on Chaos 2.
And Drag with a 1070, only a 0.3 difference. Now both are in the Mystic Ruins, picking up the first upgrade that Knuckles has, the Shovel Claws. This allows him to dig. No crashes so far from either. Nim, I know, had some crashes yesterday. Glad to see nothing so far, but of course, we do have the entire rest of the race. Only 3 minutes into this one. This category is, on average, a good 34-35 minutes long. Of course, I expect these two runners to go a good bit under that.
Yeah, I believe Nim's PB is a low 32, which is super, super good still.
Very, very good time. And then Drag is a 31, I believe? A high 31? I'd have to check speedrun.com.
Mid 30, actually.
Mid 30, sheesh.
Yeah, Drag's been improving crazy this year. Like, she's been pulling up moves when it comes to speedrunning this games that I haven't seen like anyone do in a long time. She's just consistently improving.
Ooh. Drag gets a really good set here. What she'll want to do is take this dash panel up. And, of course, she knows the decision here because she has this piece 3.
How smart.
Nim missing 2 of his pieces still as Drag pulls an RTA lead. Of course, IGT is what matters in this race, but Nim, unfortunately, appearing to have to go to Volcano.
Drag not going for the speed shoes that we saw. Oh my god, this is
Nim.
really unfortunate for Nim right now.
Oh no. Oh, he went for the back piece one. That's a pretty unoptimal route. You typically see runners just use the back of the volcano or go around the volcano. Nim getting a terrible piece set. This is quite unfortunate. One bad decision and a bad piece set can send you a whole lot behind.
Yeah,
I believe there's about a 30-second difference now.
This is a type of level that if you take one bad decision, it will lead on entirely in the rest of the stage. You need to have a reaction time that's on point directly as you start off the level. And if you think or you take a gamble for a piece, it'd rather be there because you will lose a lot of time.
Yeah, definitely. One unfortunate decision, and Nim has lost a lot of time. Red Mountain can be a very, very tricky stage, as Nim enters Chaos 4 when Drag's about 35 seconds into it. It's a good 35-second difference, maybe even 40. A lot of time for Nim to lose, a lot of time for Nim to make up. In a match this close, Nim can't afford any more of those big time losses, or else he's kind of just moot. I don't expect Drag to make many mistakes with how consistent she is at the game. Of course, never over until it's over, so...
I mean, there's still a lot of RNG parts to come, and one card piece with an unlucky clip or anything can happen. This is...
Yeah, definitely. Skydeck, of course, being the killer of runs. Notorious. But first, we have to get through the most exciting part of the run, of course. Chaos 4.
Yeah, exciting. Yeah, of course. I mean...
Hey, I don't like you coughing. Did Nim give you COVID through the microphone? That would be that'd be scary. Might want to get tested.
Yeah.
Remember, if you are showing symptoms of COVID-19, everyone get a test.
Oh come on. Alright, Drag entering the jungle here, grabbing the gold stone or the gold key, and taking very good line right there. That was really, really solid.
Very clean line. And getting the stick on the wall there. I couldn't see where she threw the key. And of course, no game audio for us. Sad.
Maybe someday. We'll get it.
07. One day. As Nim exits Chaos 4, I believe both of them had very, very good Chaos 4 times. Both 131s, I believe. And...
throw from Drag right there. Both throws have been pretty good.
Yeah, Drag making it into Lost World with very, very good jungle movement. This is by far the hardest hub movement section of Knuckles. Probably the hardest movement check in this first half of the run. Or first story of the run. And Drag getting a 10-second Lost World? No, 11. The stream froze. An 11-second Lost World is fantastic. What do you expect from such high-level runners?
Definitely. I mean... I didn't expect anything less than that. Of course, we're going to see also some pretty cool movement. Drag has been grinding a lot of Centurions and X20s in the last months, and it really showed. There was a triathlon that happened for SAESR not too long ago for the marathon, and she played absolutely amazing. So we'll see how Skydeck goes, but so far in this performance, I have nothing to say when it comes to movement. Drag is just demolishing the levels as it should be.
I will also note, her decision-making so far has been pretty impeccable. In Speed Highway, we saw her instantly restart for the 3 pieces that she couldn't grab. And in Red Mountain, we saw really, really good decision-making, getting the piece 1 behind you, immediately dropping down, getting the piece 2, and then going for the piece 3. I probably would have done it the reverse order, but I don't think that would be correct. I think doing it in the order she did is optimal. Nim getting a very, very good Lost World in 11:15, saving a 10th of a second over Drags. As he death warps, I believe he is out of lives, which is really scary going into Skydeck. You want to have the ability to restart, because not only is it faster in some parts, it's also very scary to play it without any, because Skydeck can be very tricky. We're hoping to see a good set from Drag as she enters very, very smoothly, no problems whatsoever.
Getting the
first 2 pieces here. This looks to be pretty promising. Of course, the piece 3 can always trick you. Oh.
Very nice grab. She wasn't sure. She really wasn't
missed
sure
it.
there.
I also thought she missed it. I was about to say, I think she missed it, but she did not. Grabbed it perfectly. Frame perfect restarts. And that's what we were talking about earlier with the restarts. Getting a 24 Skydeck, that's incredible. You want to see that if you're Drag here. Keep the lead, extend it a bit further if Nim gets a bad set. Of course, Nim on his an entire Skydeck separating them is pretty tricky, but of course it's only about 35-40 seconds. Nim loading in, getting a piece 1 pink here is really good. You don't want to have to go to the back of the stage for it. Nim noticing he doesn't have any lives, not trying to restart. Oh no, I think this might be a cart piece?
No, this is a wonderful set.
A Nightmare Scenarios Nimputs game overs with a really, really good set. Getting hit with that cannon, getting sniped is really, really bad. You don't want to see it. We just want to see him recover from it as fast as possible. Thinking he got that turret piece 3, but he actually got the piece 3 behind the cage here. Also getting the enemy again. Hopefully nothing bad happening, and he knows, just hitting the enemy from a bit away. Knows his piece 1 is in this back cage, getting a faster level time than Drag. But unfortunately, that game over and the restart he had during the second set will cost him a lot of time. He's likely going to have a 12 here. Drag leaving Knuckles at about 11:15 minus 6 seconds. I don't know math very well. That's an 11:09.
This is around 1 minute and 1 second of lead from Dragvrallas, I think.
Yeah.
As of leaving Skydeck. This is a massive lead right there.
And honestly, for Nim, the panic might be setting in because Nim's best story is Knuckles. I don't think anyone disagrees on that.
Oh no, definitely not.
So this was his area to come take some time from Drag, and unfortunately the Skydeck set, the game over there, very scary, very sad, very unfortunate stuff, but of course never over until it's over. Who knows, Nim could just play out of his mind with the other 2 stories. He does have really, really good times in the other 2, of course. He would not be a top contender without those. So, Drag entering Twinkle Park, no problems, getting a good frame skip, getting a good right side. Second try, I believe. Might have been first. I forgore. But lining up for Castle Skip. If Castle Skip goes well, this will be massive for her. Getting a bit stuck, but recovering.
Yeah, that's nice to see. And she should be
she makes the jump up. That jump is quite tricky. That trick, very, very difficult, but saves a good 20 seconds over the mirror room strat. Nim is hoping he can get the Castle Skip that Drag got, but a bit cleaner. Drag, of course, did stall out on the middle section, but Nim struggling with left side.
It's kind of hard to be in the Nim skin right now, if you're in the race, because Drag seems to be on a mission. She just doesn't care. She goes and goes and goes like a straight line to the point from A to B to C, and Nim's out there knowing that the game over on Skydeck kind of took some time, and not really knowing, especially if you don't know what's happening on the other side. I would have a lot of nervosity or a lot of stress.
Yes. The one benefit of playing behind is that you know you're behind. You can make a few more informed decisions. Of course, information is half of the game here in a race. You want to know as best as possible what your opponent is doing. Where your opponent is a big, big factor. So Nim can pretty easily assume he is behind. But Nim going for mirror room, he does this skip very, very well. He is very good at it. So he should leave with a good 48, I believe.
This is a very clean mirror room. That's probably one of the cleanest I've ever seen, to be honest. That was like left side, which is faster on the mirror side, and it's also like clean, crisp movement. 46,
and
yeah,
46
that is good.
mirror room. That is incredible.
Very solid.
Nim stuck to what he was comfortable with. Didn't waste any time going for castle skip as Drag entering Hot Shelter. Hot Shelter, of course, the hardest level in the game. Struggling with the rotation key here to open that door. This Act 1 has been a bit messy. It could leave a bit of room for Nim to open up a bit of a lead. A bit less of a gap between them, but Drag leaving with a 42 on the in-game timer. Going for left side. Hits it perfectly. What do you expect?
I mean, it's just written in the book. It's already out there, you know?
Drag is a fantastic aiming runner, so I don't think anyone's surprised by the absolute movement she has right now in Hot Shelter. Going for bridge skip, going for the girder, I assume.
Misses it.
Misses it, but backs it up!
Ooh,
that was clean!
But it was really good,
Pasta skip. This lineup looks good. Oh, commentator's curse. Misses
it. A little bit too close to the line, but still very good.
Little bit.
Oh!
Oh no.
Yeah, still a little bit too close again.
There we go. Nothing major. A few tries. As Nim, loading into Hot Shelter, misses the elevator clip. Hopefully he gets door. Gets it perfectly. That was super clean.
Very solid, yeah. Oh,
yeah, Nim
from Drag here? Ooh.
Ooh.
With the door clip.
A pretty good Hot Shelter. A sub 2 minute. That's what you want to see as Nimputs takes a quick dip into the water, but recovers, grabbing on the ladder. Opening the door, no problems. As Drag is in the past now, she has a good bit of HUD movement before the next level. Final egg. Final egg, of course, the last bit of true RNG in this run. 5 doors, only one of them is correct. You want a early door input. Getting a good bathroom break. Going right side here instead of left side. Playing what you know. I respect that decision. Oh, getting caught up by the capsules underneath. You can get slowed down quite a lot, but recovering fine. On the bridge.
Nice. Back up there, sure.
Nim not going for bridge skip. That's the name of the game. Play what you know. Hope Drag makes a mistake, I think. Of course, you could play a bit risky, but if you don't know how to play risky, it's not in your best interest to create a further gap.
That is true. This is a race after all.
If he gets a good pasta skip, which this lineup looks a bit close. Yeah, not hitting it, but if he can get a second try, then he'd still be saving a tiny bit of time here.
Should still be way too close, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Both of our runners missing pasta skip. As Drag gets... Drag had a very good jungle hub movement there. Now entering final egg. An entire hub section separating them is spooky. Nim really struggling with this skip. Ooh, the camera messing up there. What point?
I see a wall float from Drag here. Oh, a little bit too early on that
possible.
Though.
Yeah. Nim is now losing about 30 seconds in Hot Shelter. Not what you want to see if you're Nim. At this point, you just have to hope that Drag has a meltdown and doesn't play well at the ending of Amy or into Gamma. Decides to call down the elevator. I think this is a smart choice. You know you're ahead. You can afford it. Nim finally hitting pasta skip. As he goes for puzzle skip 2. We'll definitely want to hit this first try. But now the nerves might be setting in after failing with failing pasta skip so much, and he misses puzzle skip. This is looking to be very bad for Nim. The lead that Drag has got has extended quite a ways. Around 2 minutes now. Of course, no sound defense updates. Sad face. A 3-minute and 13-second for Nim, as Drag getting 4th door, I believe.
This is pretty much the average RNG that you see on Amy runs. Nothing crazy on the Drag side right there, but still maintaining a massive lead with playing super well, not really doing that many mistakes. Very small ones throughout
She's
the
playing
stages
solid.
and hub. Just playing overall solid, yeah.
Play solid, get the lead, because you already have it. You don't need to play risky. Nim is looking for a door 1 here. This would save him a good amount of time. But unfortunately, still quite a ways to go, even with door 1. Door 1 will not save him yet. Of course, hoping for good hub movement here. Drag has a mistake here. That could cost some time, but of course, playing pretty perfectly, getting a really good ladder jump right at the apex of her jump. It's what you want.
And decides to take it safe here with the kind of like Knuckles a little bit in the lineup to go to final leg, while Drag is just going on the house there, doing a jump down a little bit on the right, and then doing a double hammer flip to go to the raft to fight Zero.
Yeah. Even with the gap between these two runners, this race is still very, very good. Both of them playing very, very well. I believe this should be a 21 exit Amy, which is very, very good from Drag. Even though 2 minutes separate them, this race is never over until the timers stop. So
Definitely not over, but Gamma is definitely the most consistent story of all, so Nam will have to do a lot of catch up here.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Will be quite difficult. That is for sure.
Yeah, and Drag has about a 21:17 exit Amy, minus 6 seconds for the early timer start. That would be a good, well, 21:11 exit Amy, which is very, very good for KAG. And of course, going to the G part of this run, the Gamma run. Gamma, very, very simple, but very, very tricky, very difficult.
It's hard to save time when you get a good time on Gamma, because it's very consistent, but then it's all about lineups, small jumps, learning how to jump on the perfect tiles. The smallest of improvements that save the milliseconds will make you the difference.
Definitely.
Between a 940 and a 930.
It's first door. In the meantime, while Drag is fighting the boss, Nim gets first door. That's what you want to see here. It could be very well be the start of Nim's claw back up the rank.
Yeah, this is definitely something that Nim wanted to have, because especially if you don't know what's going on the other side, like I mentioned earlier, knowing that you lost about a minute, almost a minute and a half on puzzle skip 1, you need a glance of hope at least. You need a light to actually be clear, see clearly through your own game, because it's really hard not to put your arms down on something that big of a mistake. Yeah.
If you can keep playing solid, keep playing consistent, that's what matters the most. Nerves and nerve management is a huge aspect of playing in a race like this, and I believe Drag got pillars pretty damn fast.
Yeah, those pillars were pretty good. Sure.
Yep, collecting frog capture complete. As she makes her way through the past, nothing but a straight line. Next up, she'll be collecting the jet booster, which, of course, the broken Gamma upgrade opens up this story wide. And Nim on his way to fight the final boss of Amy, Zero. Zero, a big robot that chased Amy around the entire story. Now it's our time for revenge. Nim hoping to get a clean fight here, as long as he doesn't die. That's what you want, because Zero can be quite tricky if you mess up the timings. It appears Nim is not going for zero strat. There's a quick kill for this. But I really like Nim playing what he knows, playing comfortably, instantly resetting as soon as he ends the timer for the boss ends. He knows where to reset. That's a big part of saving time in KAG. Just knowing small stuff like that would be pretty much exclusive to this category and the other small stories category.
So we saw that Drag didn't get skip, so maybe Nim will attempt it, maybe not. This is really scary, also for Drag entering Hot Shelter right now.
Yeah.
I believe if Drag gets a clean Hot Shelter, this is
it's probably curtains if she can hit it first try, getting a good wall run.
Wow, that was.
But she has another half, the right side clip in.
Beautiful conversion on the wall, and
very,
I think she has very nice height if she can drop a little bit.
Ooh, a little bit too low. Turning around, having to go back for the wall run. This isn't a massive, massive deal. She just has to get it this try to not lose a ton of time.
This might be what Nim needs right now.
This
we don't know.
Could be what Nim needs if Drag cannot solidly convert in Hot Shelter. That will give him a big chance to catch up. Mistakes like this is what Nim needs. The second right side attempt.
Okay.
Ooh, that looked a bit too low, but of course.
Yeah, it was pretty sketchy, but glad she still made it on the second try.
She made it. That's what's important. Into the boss of Hot Shelter. Then after this, she should be in the clear coasts. Not having to do much after this. Red Mountain, Windy Valley, and then a bunch of story scenes. Oh no, Nim taking a spill into the ocean.
This is so unfortunate.
He hit pillars, but he did not hit the jump on the balcony, the little pier after pillars.
Heads up on this. Always take the time to get the distance you need before doing that jump right there to these houses. Because
yeah, definitely.
This is really tricky. The floor
that is a worse time loss than missing pillars itself. And of course, pillars is the harder part of that. Drag going to fight Sonic, fighting Sonic first, perfectly understandable. I know Nim yesterday fought Sonic after going through the trial menu. Quitting out to the trial menu now is Drag, and she wants to get a good Red Mountain clip in. Push herself between two rocks, hold neutral stick, and instant.
Nice, nice.
This is good news for Drag. That's the last big thing you can waste a lot of time on if you can't seem to get it.
This is looking very good for Drag. The W seems to be a little bit in the bag, maybe halfway through. This is definitely already something that Drag needs for her dub here, because I'm pretty sure
definitely.
She wants to be in winter semis and wants to impress everyone else in here, because I mean, I personally am impressed with this performance so far, and I'm pretty sure she will
performance
continue.
Has been fantastic from her.
Yeah, no, for
the
sure.
The only notable mistake, I think, being in Hot Shelter for both characters, Amy and Gamma, missing Pasta Skip, missing the wall ride in Clippin'. But otherwise, a very solid performance from Drag. Loading into Windy Valley, we'll swap to Autocam before going through. Windy Valley, typically not much to scare you. A pretty simple level, just flip into the wall here. Nim going through Hot Shelter now. I believe he got a pretty good clip in out of that first room, but next he has Wall Ride. Good angle.
Okay, that seems good.
If he can hit this, looks like he's going for left side, the safer but a bit slower strat. This is understandable. Nim, of course, playing what he knows. At this point, I'm sure Nim believes he is behind, so he might just be playing for a PB, thinks this late into the run, not able to salvage it, and I believe he could be on PB pace if I am correct with how long it would take him to get through Gamma.
It's definitely not a terrible run from any of those runners. This is
Yeah,
still
definitely
very good
not.
pace. Nim definitely lost a massive chunk of time on Amy Hot Shelter, but definitely didn't play bad on Amy. Definitely had very, very, very few mistakes on Gamma.
Outside of the Hot Shelter, his aiming was really, really good. First door, very, very, very good. Twinkle Park, but Hot Shelter, of course, is a killer in aiming. Hardest IL in the game.
Yeah, it's
just
probably
how it
the
is.
hardest due to longevity of how crazy the
Super
IL
long,
is.
a bunch of tricks. It's just very, very tough. And then loading into Hot Red Mountain. And missing the first try clip in, getting it second try, which is perfectly fine. Waste about 4 seconds, I believe. As Drag goes through the story, of course, after completing the stages in reverse order with Gamma, you have to set all the story flags in the game to be what they should be. Nim hoping for no jumps. And of course, I had to say that.
Yeah, this is another
unfortunate.
Oh my god, did you see
that?
That
was a clean raft, wow.
that was, wow. This is still looking, I believe, like a 31 on Drag if she can get into the boss very, very, very quickly.
If she hits early shot here. Missing it first try, but it is faster still to restart and go for it again. Of course, we'll be seeing that. No second try either, as Nim going out of his way, hitting the spring here. And it looks like Drag may be able to close this out with relative ease after Beta Mark II. Beta Mark II, of course, is the last big obstacle.
This is definitely the place where you don't want to die. It's pretty easy to die whenever there's missile shots because you always think that you're fine, and trying to get back the ring that you got, which is probably the most optimal strat that you can do, is very risky actually because
yeah, you can get lost.
There's a lot of stuff that can happen that can mess you up here.
Delta Airlines taking off. I'm still in the commentator's joke. As Nim knocked him off the island, but relative painless. Windy Valley is losing a bit of time. Drag scrambling as she did not pick up that ring. Like you were saying earlier, picking up the ring can be very, very surprisingly difficult because it can just get lost in all the noise. And with a 32-22, Drag has closed this race out. Nim is 10 seconds until he hits the threshold, and he will not be able to complete the story in 10 seconds, unfortunate. A 32-22 minus 6 seconds from the early start. What would that be? A 32-16, I believe, thereabouts. A very, very, very good run from Drag. A 32 in winners' quarters. This tournament bracket will be quite spicy later on as some of these higher level runners get filtered into each other, having to go against each other. Nim putting up a very good fight, keeping in it until the very end, but Drag able to close it out.
This is a pretty good performance for Drag, knowing that she got door 4 and pretty much all the gameplay, other than RNG, I guess, which had a little bit of some highlights, kind of. On Casino was pretty good, Red Mountain was pretty okay. You know, there was some parts definitely where Drag was lucky, but then some other parts where it was quite unfortunate. So a 32-22 here, plus the time that has to be removed due to the timer starting off really early, is a very good performance. This is
a wonderful performance as Nim gets on the raft. Off to Beta Mark II, the final boss. We'll see the gap between these two runners. Both of them played very, very solid. Unfortunately, the big thing was Red Mountain and then Skydeck. Red Mountain gave him a bit of a gap, and then Skydeck kind of just closed it out early on. That's what RNG can do if you get unlucky. Him got early shot, which shoutouts. Still wanting to put on a good show as he finishes up this run.
Seen this a lot throughout the tournament so far. Just the runner that has a pretty big lead in the race, going into early shot, not really able to do it, but then the runner that closes out the run just gets early shot and then does it for the person that couldn't get it in the first place. So it's really nice.
It's a show of sportsmanship for sure. Going for early shot, even though you've lost. I mean, it's the last big trick of the run, so even if you've lost, it's worth going for just to show that you're not too mad about it. I'm sure Nim, going into this match, knew that it would be a bit of an uphill drag, being a very good runner, and there's a exactly 35-minute time. Very good run by Nim. I believe that beats my PB. No, it doesn't. I got a 33 yesterday. Never mind.
That's true. I verified it. Very nice run, by the way. I didn't congratulate you on that.
Thank you, smiley face. But it's not my time to flex. It is Drag's. Drag has taken this win. And Nim, now in losers, I believe, round 3. He will be going up against Hethys, who just won his previous match against Scoob. But Nim, I'm sure, feeling confident going into it. Hello, Nim. Welcome. And I believe Drag will not be joining us for an interview. I believe. I am not too sure.
Yo, GG Drag.
Hello, Nim. Welcome. And I believe Drag
congrats, well
will not be joining us for an interview.
That is a super solid time.
I believe. I am not too sure. Yeah, very well fought race from both of you.
I'm honestly like, I wish I could have done like a more solid run because I've had like a couple real bad
very well fought race from both
I
of
did
you.
not expect to beat Drag, to be honest, so I'm not too fussed about that.
Yeah, I'm sure going into this, you knew it'd be a bit of a fight to win, but you stayed, you fought until the very end. The one thing that I think really started the downward trend was Red Mountain, because you got a pretty bad Red Mountain set.
That was honestly entirely my fault. I went at the start to the right to check pieces, and I saw the ping for the piece 3, and I thought it was a piece 1, and that completely threw off my routing, and it just messed up everything.
Yeah, that's how Red Mountain can go. I'm sure you know it well, being a Knuckles runner.
Yeah.
And then the game over in Skydeck, that was very unfortunate.
Yeah, I was kind of going for the risk there.